Thank you very much our ABS band. Naomba niulize studio kama kuna mziki wowote tafadhali, bendi inapotulia kidogo. Studio, if there's some piece of art, please present it to us as we wait for the band to relax a little. Ladies and gentlemen, in the next 10 or so minutes, we'll be started with a function which will run up to around midday. Studio. Asante, studio.
relationship.
So
So if we clap for you more, you play for us the brass instruments. Studio. Thank you. Good. Any music? Any music from the studio? Thank you very much.
For those of us who just come in, we have a WhatsApp number that we are asking all of us to send our questions, our concerns via WhatsApp number. And the number is on our screens, 0781 111 777. Please let the questions, the suggestions trickle in as much as we can. Our band. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is our administration for this band.
Let me take this opportunity to invite and welcome all of us to this PSSF third annual general meeting here at the KICC. And let me take this opportunity just to inform all of us that we have got a WhatsApp number. You may send in your concerns, your views, and your questions. The number is 0783 111 777. I'll take that again. 0783 111 777. Please go to WhatsApp section and send in your questions, your concerns, because the chair, among other dignitaries, will be addressing to those concerns. Thank you. We are about to receive our chief guest, who is the CS National Treasury, among other dignitaries. So I want us to manage our phones. Kindly let's manage our phones, including mine. Let's put our phones on silent mode. Thank you. Let's manage our phones, all of us. Thank you. Upon arrival of our chief guest, we will have, of course, the preambles, the national anthem, and the East Africa anthem, and thereafter we'll have a prayer. After that, we'll have the reading of the notice convening the meeting by the CEO, Dr. Jonah Aibey. After that, we'll have introductions, presentation of chairman's report, and introduction of the VIPs led by the chairman. Thereafter, we'll have remarks from the PS National Treasury, Dr. Chris Kiptol, CBS. After that, we'll have remarks from Honorable Justin B. Muturi, EGH, CS Public Service and Human Capital. After that, we'll have the formal speech from Honorable CPA John Buddy, EGH, our CS for National Treasury. After that, we'll have to invite again the CEO to confirm the minutes of the AGM for the financial year 2022-2023. After that, we'll go to our service providers, the fund administrator, the representative of the Auditor General, the fund manager, the fund custodian, the fund administrator, and the RBA representative. After the service providers' remarks, we'll have a session of presentation of the report on remuneration of trustees by the chairperson, and the chairperson will take the same time to answer to those questions you've sent via WhatsApp to the number that I've given you, and also he will react to the most frequently asked questions. After that, we'll have a vote of thanks and closing with a word of prayer. If the band will be around, they'll give us one stanza of the national anthem. Thank you very much. Band, do you have anything? Studio? Any music as we wait for the chief guest? Ladies and gentlemen, bendi tukuze asante. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all be upstanding and welcome our chief guest. Let's all remain standing as we invite our chief guest, CPA, the Honorable John Badi, EGH, the CS for National Treasury, among other dignitaries. We remain standing and let's kindly manage our phones. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all remain upstanding for the national anthem and the East African anthem. While standing, we may invite Trustee Rosemary Kurano for the opening prayer.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, Jehovah, we come before your presence this morning with thanksgiving in our hearts. Thank you for the gift of life and the gift of this beautiful day. We commit this day into your hands, my Father, as we begin commemorate our third annual general meeting, my Father. We want to thank you this far that you have brought us and committed the deliberations of the day before you, my Father. We ask for your presence, we ask for your guidance and wisdom, my Father. We commit our chief guests and all the dignitaries present today, members, their families, and by extension the communities. We bless you and we honor you, for it is in Jesus' name that we do pray and believe. Amen.
Guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The Honorable CPA John Badi, EGH, CS for National Treasury, the Honorable Justin Binturi, CS for Public Service and Human Capital, the Honorable Principal Secretary President, the Honorable Chairperson PSSF, and Board of Trustees. The CEO is led by Dr. John Badi, PhD, the auditing representative, the fund manager, the fund administrator, the fund trustees, members of the PSSF, PSSL Secretariat, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. Guest of honor, sir, we're just about to celebrate Jamhuri Day. Na kwa hii nafasi, nitaomba sote tena tuweze kusimama ili tuimbe wimbo mmoja, watu shangilie Kenya, wake ndugu wasonga, tukikaribia kusherehekea siku ya Jamhuri. Tafadhali sote tena tusimame kwa pamoja. Tushangilie Kenya, led by our esteemed band. Tushangilie Kenya, all of us, we put our hands together and we sing, tushangilie Kenya. Twende kazi. Makofi tafadhali, makofi. Tushangilie Kenya kwa pamoja, tukingojea Jamhuri Day. Convening the meeting. See yourselves.
Our Chief Guest FCPA, Honorable Mbadi, Cabinet Secretary of National Treasury and Economic Planning, our guest, Honorable Justice Muturi, Cabinet Secretary, Principal Secretary, National Treasury, and all invited guests. It's my pleasure to read the notice of the third annual general meeting of the Public Service Superannuation Scheme. Notice which was issued on 11th which was issued on October 20th, and it reads that notice is hereby given that the third annual general meeting of the Public Service Superannuation Scheme for the year ended 30th June 2024 will be held today, Wednesday, 11th of December 2024 at Kenyatta International Convention Center, Amphitheater, starting at 9 a.m. And the business to be transacted will be as follows: reading the notice, which is ongoing, presentations of the chairman report, confirmation of the minutes of the previous annual general meeting, presentations of the scheme audited financial statements, presentations of the reports from service providers, investors, investment managers, administrator, custodian, and we'll also have, as by requirement, the report on remuneration of trustees, and we'll have an opportunity for question and answer for the members to also raise their comments. So this is the convening of the AGM. as per the requirements of the Retirement Benefits Authority. Having said that, and for the interest of time, I've just been asked to go straight away to making one or two remarks and invite the chairman so that at least we can redeem time given the opportunity or the time that has all fast spent. So our chief guest, FCPA Honorable John Buddy, Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Justice Muturi, Principal Secretary of the National Treasury, governors and former governors present, invited guests, RBA representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We are delighted as a pension scheme to host this third annual general meeting. It gives us an opportunity to report back to our members in terms of the activities that we have done for the entire financial year. And we are doing so, Honorable Chief Guest, for obvious reasons that the funds that we are managing are members' funds. So we are required by law to report back to the members. And this is what we use the annual general meeting to do. So we have had a very successful year, working in compliance with the activities of the Retirement Benefits Act guidelines and also in observance of our PSSS Act. I am pleased, Chief Guest, to mention that during the financial year, we had a good year where we saw our investment income increasing by 14 billion, and this is captured in the financial statements, and the success is driven by the commitment to a robust investment policy that we are administering with the Board of Trustees. As at the close of the year, the value of the assets was at 42.2 billion, which is the assets that we are investing to take care of the retirement benefits of the members. So we also managed to do a lot of sensitization in the course of the year to let members get to know what is expected of them and their rights. This is one of the most exciting provision in government, Honorable Chief Guest, in terms of thinking beyond the working life of the members. And management, together with the Board of Trustees, we are committed to really putting in place the right things to give the best value on the funds and assets of the members to take care of their retirement. Having said that, Chief Guest, because I've been advised of the constraint of time that we have, allow me, before I invite my chairman, to appreciate specifically some of the people who started this scheme, who have come to join us today. I know the former vice chairman will be recognized by the chairman, but I want to appreciate my predecessor, that is Alice Nyariki, who was the first acting CEO, and she can stand and wave to the crowd. So she is the one who started this scheme, and we are happy that she came to join us today. We also have CEOs of other pension schemes who have managed to join us today, and other organizations, Chair, Honorable Chief Guest. We have the CEOs who are present. Kindly, if you can stand so that I can be able to appreciate and mention your names. From my left there, we have Peter Rotich, who is the Secretary and CEO of Teleposta Pension Scheme. An iconic building around Kenyatta Avenue is what is easily identified with Teleposta. We have Bwana Lelei, who is the CEO of the National Police Service Commission. And we have Dr. Osea Kili, who is coming here in his personal capacity as the CEO and at the same time the administrator of our scheme. So we appreciate your coming, and we look forward to a very successful conversation and presentation to all our members. Members, if there are questions, you will have an opportunity to raise at an appropriate time. Otherwise, for now, ladies and gentlemen, I would wish to take this opportunity to bring to the podium the chairman of our Public Service Superannuation Scheme, Honorable Wycliffe Wafula Wangamati. Karibu sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Jonah, for the remarks. The chief guest, FCPA, Honorable John Mbadi, the Cabinet Secretary, the National Treasury and Economic Planning, my good friend, Honorable Justin Muturi, the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Public Service and Human Capital, the Principal Secretary, Treasury, the CEO, the trustees who are here, service providers, members, and all the guests who are invited. Good morning. Good morning. Chief guest, with your permission, before I make some few remarks, I want just to recognize a few people. We have among us the former chairs of this PSSF. We always call them Chair Emeritus 1 and Chair Emeritus 2. And that is the first chair of PSSF, chief guest, Edward Odundo, Dr. Edward Odundo. Please stand. Ebupigia makofi. Cabinet Secretary is the man who was the first chair of PSSF. And I think we felt it important that he comes and be part of this because he started this scheme. Thank you very much, Edward, for attending. The second one, chief guest, is Chairman Emeritus 2, a former PS, Titus Ndambuki, whom I took over from. He was also the chair of this PSSF. Thank you very much, Titus, for coming and being part of this. Chief guest, I also have my colleagues, the board members, the trustees who are currently oversighting this scheme. Let the trustees stand. I will start from the far right. That's Dr. Kiprono. Kiprono is representing the Public Service Commission as a trustee. The next one, I think the Cabinet Secretary, Public Service knows him, and he likes being introduced by his full names. David William Okoth Ochel. He represents the Cabinet Secretary, Public Service, that is Honorable Justin Muturi. The next one is Calvin. Calvin represents the Teacher Service Commission. The next one is Wicks. Wicks represents Kupet on the board. The next one is Amos. Amos represents the PS Treasury. The next one is Rosemary. Rosemary represents IG because we have the biggest number of uniformed as members of this scheme. The last one is my Vice Chair, Agnes, who was acting as the chair before I was appointed, and she represents the civil servants on the scheme. Ebu apigie makofi tafadhali. Chief guest, because of time, I just want to make a few remarks, then call the PS Treasury to take over. Chief guest, it's an honor to address you at this annual general meeting as we reflect on the achievements, opportunities, and aspirations of the Public Service Superannuation Fund. 4 years ago, the government issued a circular for the implementation of this pension scheme for all civil servants, teachers, discipline services personnel. This third annual general meeting of the scheme is a testament to the trust and collaboration of all stakeholders bound by a shared mission of securing retirement livelihoods of all public servants in the years since commencement. At the outset, Chief Guest, I wish to express my gratitude to the National Treasury as the sponsor for their support during that period. This support includes operational support and hosting the scheme secretariat in the first 3 years, giving a solid base to stabilize the institution. And we must, Chief Guest, I must say a big thank you to the PS Treasury, because he has been part and parcel of this scheme. When it was set up, hosting the Secretariat before, in fact, encouraging the Secretariat to move on and basically be more independent. So thank you very much, PS Treasury. At the age of 4 years, this baby is well on its feet and set for a life of independence and success. I wish to thank the Board of Trustees for their unwavering dedication and strategic oversight. Our management and staff, led by our Chief Executive Officer, have demonstrated professionalism and commitment during that period. Baby wapigie makofi, our staff. I also want to extend my deepest appreciation to our members and employers whose confidence in this fund drives our efforts daily. The success that we celebrate today is a product of years of dedication, and credit goes to our former Board of Trustees, our former Chairman, Dr. Edward Odundo, and Mr. Titus Ndambuki for their leadership during their tenure as Chair of PSSF. We aspire to carry on that legacy and take this pension scheme to the next level, being one of the biggest schemes in this country. And Chief Guest, I'm pleased to join you for this AGM and being my first AGM as the Chair of the Board of Trustees. Distinguished members, the last year has been a key one for the scheme. We have continued to make progress in fulfilling our mandate despite the challenges posed by the broader economic environment. We have managed the scheme's investments to ensure they align with our long-term objectives and ensure stability, growth, and responsible leadership of our funds. The fund's assets under management recorded an impressive growth, buoyed by prudent investment strategies and a diversified asset portfolio that yielded commendable returns, securing members' funds. Chief Guest, the scheme's fund value increased to about 142 billion as at 30th of June 2024, from about 84.74 billion the previous year, recording an increase in members' funds of about 57.49 billion. That increase, Chief Guest, was made up of about 14 billion of investment income compared to about 5 billion in the last financial year ending 30th of June 2023. So this year we increased member funds by about 14 billion compared to 5 billion for the year ending 30th of June 2023. During that year, the government has consistently demonstrated its commitment by remitting contributions in a timely manner, and during the year, we received a total contributions, Chief Guest, of about 44.7 billion Kenya shillings. And I want to confirm, Chief Guest, as at now, we do not have any arrears in respect of either member or government contributions to this scheme. It has been cleared and everything has been paid. Dear members and guests, we understand the essential role that strong corporate governance plays in securing the organization's long-term success, sustainability, and ethical foundation. I share an unwavering commitment to maintaining exemplary corporate governance standards. The scheme is guided by the principles of transparency, accountability, fairness, and integrity in every aspect of operations. Our board of trustees, composed of a diverse and highly experienced group of professionals, provides strategic oversight and effective leadership. Their focus remains steadfast on safeguarding the interests of our members and stakeholders while ensuring that our decisions align with our mission. In today's dynamic and ever-evolving environment, our dedication to sound corporate governance is more critical than ever. We are committed to continuously refining and enhancing our governance practices to address the changing needs of our members, stakeholders, and the wider community. By doing so, we aim to uphold the trust placed in us to foster a culture of excellence, accountability across the organization. To strengthen this, Chief Guest, the Board of Trustees has implemented robust policies to support this commitment and improvement in welfare of our members. The board has designed a responsive corporate social responsibility policy to address the challenges facing member and society while fulfilling the fund's commitment to ethical conduct, sustainability, and enhancing the well-being of members and their beneficiaries. The scheme will be rolling out these initiatives in the coming year, and we are calling on all stakeholders to support us in uplifting the communities that we serve. Looking forward, Chief Guest, we look ahead as PSSF is poised for an even greater impact. We aim to strengthen our investment portfolio to safeguard and grow members' savings. We are also enhancing technological platforms to improve efficiency and service delivery. At present, our members have real-time access to their statements and contributions via an online portal and USS Gold. We are working with our service providers to enhance these tools and optimize services. Our recently launched strategic plan is rooted in a comprehensive analysis of market trends, competitive dynamics, and internal capabilities, reflecting commitment to integrity, independence, fairness, and decision, allocating resources and aligning our efforts towards achieving our objective. To achieve these aspirations, we must work together, and I urge all stakeholders to continue playing their part in building a strong and reliable and sustainable pension system in this country. Chief Guest, before I call the PS, this is just outside this, but I felt that it's a conversation that is happening, and I think I also just felt that it's important that I also contribute to it as chair of PSSF, but also as a professional in this country, in this sector. I think, Chief Guest, when we came to brief you about this AGM, and later on, I also went to brief the PS Treasury, there was a very clear question mark on how we can, as a country, capitalize on the resources that we have in the pension world, which are very long-term resources, and life insurance assets, and how we can complement in helping the country look at its infrastructure needs. And Chief Guest, just to look at the entire industry, the pension industry in this country is about under 2 trillion Kenyan shillings. The life insurance assets are about 0.5 trillion Kenyan shillings, giving long-term assets of about 2.5 trillion shillings. This money is used to cover the liabilities that we have, basically ensuring that somebody, when they get retirement, the assets are there to give him his benefits. At the same time, if it's insurance contracts, life insurance contracts, when somebody needs that claim, that money is there to meet them. But at the same time, Chief Guest, we have infrastructure needs that are very long-term in nature. So you have assets here that we are putting in government securities, equities, and then you have infrastructure needs of the country that are here that are also long-term. We can sort of see how we can match the two so that at the end of the day, these funds, and I'm sure, I think Jose Akila has been talking about this, and that's why I have decided just also to comment on this, that when you look at South Africa, and I always talk about South Africa because in Africa, pension assets of South Africa is about 85% of the entire pension assets on this continent. South Africa is a very good example for us to look at and see. South Africa's pension asset is about 200 billion Kenya shillings. They were in this position 20 years ago where schemes were not investing in the infrastructure. They did set up a working party to look at that. As we speak now, South Africa chief guests have infrastructure as an asset class within the country. They have private equity as an asset class within the country. And it's about an average of about 8 to 10% of the assets under management in South Africa that is now directed towards, assets under management directed towards infrastructure investments. Chief guest, it is a conversation that I think we had in your office. And I want to say that for this process to happen, for us to realize and close that gap, this must be government-driven process. And Treasury must take lead in this so that how do we then close this gap? And of course, Chief Guest, there are risks in infrastructure investments, very serious risks. But when you look at where South Africa was 20 years ago, they did it, and we should encourage that. Is my proposal, Chief Guest, I know we are running out of time, is that you may think about setting up a task force of professionals within the industry that can then now look this, give you a proposal on how to close this gap. Otherwise, thank you. It is now my pleasure to welcome the PS Treasury to then take over and invite the Cabinet Secretary, Public Service, and then later on the Chiefs. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Our Chief Guest, Honorable John Buddy, Cabinet Secretary of the National Treasury and Economic Planning, Honorable Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, who is our former Attorney General and also former Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Muturi, and all guests and participants. Good morning. Hamjambo. I'll be brief because I have sought permission from my CS to allow me to rush to another meeting. First, just to say that it's now about 2 years since I joined the National Treasury, and over that period I have tried as much as possible to focus on the pension sector. And this is a sector that is critical in ensuring that we cushion our workers from old age poverty. This is a sector which has witnessed a tremendous growth. As of June this year, we have assets of about 2 trillion. To be precise, 1.98 trillion. And as a ratio of GDP, the pension assets account for about 11.42%. That's a significant sum. But this coverage extends only to about 3.1 million members, who constitute 20% of the labor force in Kenya. The labor force is around 20 million. And these 3.1 million are exclusively from the formal sector. That's the public service and the private sector, with about 1 million from public service, the balance of 2 million from private sector. The bulk of the workforce is therefore left to their own to live undignified lives when they are unable to work. So I just want to inform this gathering that we have, apart apart from PSS, we also have Kenya National Entrepreneur Savings Trust, that's KNEST, which has been now operationalized and will be launched soon. I think the President announced this 2 days ago when he said that we are going to anchor the retirement savings component of the Hustler Fund to be managed by KNEST. That's the point number one that I wanted to make. The second point is that we have now the defined benefit scheme and the defined contribution scheme. The defined contribution scheme is what we now call PSS. I'm happy to report that this is the fastest growing scheme in Kenya. Imagine just last year, its assets were 84 billion. 1 year later, its assets are 142 billion. So the growth in assets has been 58 billion in just 1 year. Can we clap for them? 58 billion growth is huge. So if you can imagine every year you are having that kind of growth, that would really be very good, which is why I agree with the chairman, his proposal that we should see how to leverage on the funds, and I know CS will make an announcement on that, so that because we have tight fiscal space, we want to modernize our airports, we want to do super highways, they are commercially viable projects. Why can't we deploy these savings to those projects instead of only waiting for external parties to come and invest? Challenge you guys to see what you can do, Chairman and your team. And CS will give us more directions. Finally, on the defined benefit scheme, which is what we have, the pension scheme that is still managed through Exchequer, and I know Kagika is here. I don't know if he's here. That is Kagika, who has been managing both the PSS and the defined benefit scheme. I want to observe that we have had problems in processing of claims, the challenges in processing of claims, gaps in maintaining accurate and comprehensive pension data, and inefficiencies in timely disbursements of benefits. So to address this, last week we launched an online pensioner self-registration portal. And CS, I would like you to, I want to inform you that last Thursday at the pension department, I launched the pensioner self-registration portal. So from Minister for Public Service, anybody who is retiring, we need the IPP data now to come to this portal so that there is nothing like ghost worker or somebody enjoying benefits that should not. And we have given 3 months, the December, January, February 28th. Any pensioner who will not have registered in the portal will be locked out and will not get the services of Mr. Kagika. So you are supposed to log on, and I think, Kagika, you make sure you communicate this so that this is done. And finally, I think I just want to say that from National Treasury, we don't have any arrears. CS, the last payment we made was 5.4 billion, and I think it's confirmed that it's with them. So we will do our best to make sure we keep honoring our part of the bargain. Thank you very much. It's now my pleasure to invite the Minister for Public Service, Cabinet Secretary, Emeritus Speaker of the National Assembly, and Emeritus Attorney General of Kenya. Karibu sana.
Asante sana, PS Kipto. Before I make my address, I want to make one disclosure because many people here may not know. Lakini habari za asubuhi. Hamjambo. As PS Kipto mentioned about emeritus and emeritus many, I want to make a disclosure that for 10 years, as Speaker of the National Assembly, those of you who may have been following the deliberations of the House, I deliberately, and mark my words, deliberately would never leave the chair unless I have had the contribution of one John Bandi Mongo. And it was deliberate, purely because I appreciate and always appreciated his clear ideas on many national issues. Many national issues. Of course, when it came to the budget cycle, that was even worse. I could even sit for 5 hours because I knew the input that the Honorable John Bandi gave to any financial bills being transacted in the House. And therefore, it is most fitting for the PSSF to have invited the Honorable John Bandi, Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Economic Planning, to be our chief guest at this annual general meeting. It's because, for me, he is the most appropriate person to address us on the issues that relate to the work or the functions of the PSSF. The Board of Trustees, the Chairman, the CEO, Mr. Ayabe, Doctor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to join you today as you celebrate your 3rd annual general meeting of the PSSF. There is an opportunity for members who are employees in the public service to reflect on the past year of their scheme as we work towards consolidating retirement saving for dignified retirement. Esteemed members of the pension scheme, I'm delighted to address you today in my capacity as the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service and Human Capital Development, being the ministry responsible for the welfare and compensation of public servants, and we are committed to ensuring a secure and dignified retirement for all employees in the public service. Our participation towards the operationalization and management of this contributory pension scheme is a testament to our commitment towards this goal. This scheme is designed to provide a safety net for our dedicated public servants upon their retirement. Through joint contributions from both the member and the employer, this scheme aims to build a substantial retirement fund that will cushion employees during their golden years. One of the key features of this scheme is the timely payment of benefits. We are proud to see that the scheme is committed to ensuring members who retire will receive their pension benefits within a maximum of 30 days. As the Honorable John Bandi can confirm, one of the most frequently asked questions in Parliament, and today when I talk about Parliament, it's the duality of both the National Assembly and the Senate, is about pension payments. Mr. Kageka, who I am happy to see here, is somebody who has had to respond to very many queries. Unfortunately, as a speaker, the speaker is also the chairman of the pension, the retirement scheme of Parliament. So Mr. Kageka is also, by virtue of his office, a member of that committee. And one of the issues is issues of pension. And I'm happy about what the PS Kipto has just announced about what is going to happen going into the future. Because this issue of people who have dedicated their life to the service of their nation queuing for years trying to pursue their retirement benefits is an embarrassment, not just to them, but also to government. It must be addressed. We must be able to mitigate that and put an end to the suffering that many of us who have been in politics who attest many of the retirees go through. This swift payment process will ensure a smooth transition into retirement and provide immediate financial support to our deserving retirees. And this coming hot on the heels of our trial run on the Human Resource Information System, Kenya. I think this is a welcome development. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge the trustees of this scheme to uphold the highest standards of fiduciary responsibility. Your role is paramount in safeguarding the retirement savings of our members. Please prioritize their best interests and ensure that their funds are managed with the utmost care and transparency. That's not to say that you do not pay attention to proposals such as the one made by the chairman about how to be able to apply these resources even in the context of national development. As I conclude and invite my good friend, the CS National Treasury, I want to reiterate our commitment to the well-being of our public servants. And this contributory pension scheme is a significant step towards securing a brighter future for our retirees. Together, we can ensure that our employees retire with dignity and continue to enjoy a fulfilling life after serving their nation in different capacities. I wish you an engagement of shared prosperity during this annual general meeting and reiterate the need for all sectors of our government to work together towards the success of this scheme in securing our dedicated public servants' retirement in their future. I wish to thank you, and ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to, in a singular way and honor, invite our chief guest for today, the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury. Now he has told me that he has handed something before the CPA. Is this F or L? FCPA, the Honorable John Bandi Mongo, my brother.
Now, my senior and great friend, the Honorable Justin Muturi, who is the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Public Service and Human Capital Development. Maybe just something, because Honorable Muturi has also said something about me. Allow me also to say something about him just before I proceed. Justin Muturi and I have been friends for now quite some time. Actually, before he became Speaker, we interacted a lot in these meetings of political parties, the leadership of political parties, when he was leading KANU and I was leading ODM. And so we interacted a lot, especially I remember there was a conference we had in Nakuru, and we became very good friends. But now our friendship strengthened much more because of what I would call a very unfortunate kind of engagement. When he wanted to be the Speaker for the first time, and so he was looking for votes. And as a friend, he approached me and really tried to persuade me to vote for him, spoke a lot. But before he finished, I told him, my friend, you don't have to convince me that you can make a very good speaker. I know you can. And I know you will win and become the speaker, but unfortunately, without my votes. So he looked at me and he couldn't believe that I was telling him the truth. I told him, you know, I'm a very committed member of ODM, and we have been whipped to vote for Marende. He's going to lose to you because I know the numbers are on your side. So unfortunately, you will win, and you are my friend, but you will not get my vote. So and that is it. I actually didn't vote for him. And so he was surprised at my honesty. We developed friendship along much more in our 5 years of working together. And by the way, my judgment about Justin Muturi is one of the best speakers we'll have in this country. People will always criticize you, but I will tell you that seat is not easy, and he steered Parliament professionally, even though we were very clear that it was sponsored from the other side of the political divide. And he has just confirmed to you that he had to listen to us. The most important thing is you may be in one political grouping, but listen to the other side for what they have to say. Now, when we were going to vote again, because he wanted to retain his seat in 2017, now I personally went to his office and told him, this time round, I will vote for you. But unfortunately, again, I did not vote for him. This time, I did not vote for anyone because my party decided, and I was a minority leader, that we were going to boycott the vote. So he served, and as my friend, he served very well without my vote. And the Honorable Justin Muturi knows that. So we have come a long way, and I appreciate you, my senior. And I thank you for also gracing this event. So let me recognize the Principal Secretary, National Treasury has just left, the Board of Trustees of the Public Service Superannuation Scheme, RBA representatives,